but there's a lot of airspace to cover for Milroe. Corner, it's caught! Touchdown, Alabama! On a 4th and a mile! 31 yards!
Alabama, I was born, Alabama, where I'm from. Don't throw your hands up, put up your hand. I ain't talking about Atlanta, I'm talking about the ham. I'm talking about the deal. A-L-A-B-A-M-A, this where I live. Alabama, I was born, Alabama, where I'm from.
All right, folks, it's Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. Love and appreciate everyone for showing up today. Appreciate everyone for stopping in and tuning in to what we have every week when Alabama plays football. It is Tidal Wave Talk here. I think I've been inconsistent about putting it out on Friday, so I think I'm just going to, for now, like the rest of the season, just kind of record it and just let it upload. I usually do a premiere on Friday, but I think I've had it on a Thursday or so, or I think maybe there was one week I got so busy I just kind of recorded it and put it up the morning before the game. But either way, I got some time here on what is today, a Tuesday, and it's actually election day. And just be praying for whoever gets elected. I don't want to get political, but just be praying and just, put it in God's hands and let his will be done is all I have to say on that. But go vote. It does matter. Anyway, getting out of the politics, getting into sports. Alabama goes to LSU, Death Valley. Sometimes they call it Death Valley because it can be so loud at times. Alabama in this series has really owned LSU, and part of it is because of Nick Saban. I think that they were on, what was it, a 8 or 9 year, streak when Alabama just kept winning and winning until Joe Burrow came along in 2019. Alabama leads all time 56, 27, and 5. They won last year 42-28. LSU won the first meeting 12-6. I mean, there's just so many different games we could talk about. There was the game of the century, 9-6 in overtime in 2011. The same year they met for the first time ever. They met twice in 1 year, and they met in the national title where Alabama shut them out 21-0 to win in New Orleans. Alabama won last year 42-28 with Jalen Milroe in Tuscaloosa. But the last time they went to Baton Rouge in 2022, I guess Bryce Young. Yeah, Bryce Young, because that was his last year before he got drafted to a terrible organization in the Panthers. That's right. I knew that. I just wanted to make a Panthers joke. Please free Bryce. Anyway, LSU won 2 years ago, 32-31 in overtime. We've had a few overtimes, actually. It went into overtime in 2014 in Baton Rouge, Tuscaloosa in the game of the century in 2011. It looked like, obviously, 2 years ago, there was overtime in 2008, 2005. So, I mean, there's been a lot of overtime games. This has always been really, really close. And again, Alabama does lead the series, and it's really not even close. 56, 27, and 5 all time. Alabama. In Baton Rouge, Alabama is 29, 10, and 2. In Tuscaloosa, they are 15, 10, and 0. So, and again, that, focusing on Baton Rouge where it's being played this year, Alabama has been there 41 times. They're 29, 10, and 2, going back all the way to 1895 for how many years it's been played in Baton Rouge, or you got to go back to before last century even, so which is actually pretty interesting there. So this series has been being played for a very long time. It's very traditional. It is, when we were doing the conference realignment and the scheduling, everyone's like, well, you got to keep three permanent opponents for certain teams. And, this is one of those games that they had to keep for Alabama, I believe. This, so with LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn, if you ever mess with any of those games, you're doing a disservice to college football. So, that's just my opinion. Um, not that that matters, but anyway, you look at you look at this year's game. Alabama comes into this game actually very interesting here. As a favorite, 3 points. LSU 3-point underdog. Alabama with a almost 70% chance to win. It's Milrow versus Nussmeyer. Uh, Nussmeyer 20 touchdowns, 9 picks. Jalen Milrow, 13 touchdowns, 6 picks. Alabama coming off a bye, so is LSU. But the last time these teams took the field, Alabama had a great performance against Missouri at home, shut them out 34-0. And Missouri's no pushover team. I've been saying that. They're a really good team to beat. And to shut them out, I think Alabama showed that they can play four-quarter defense. They can, and they did. It took a while, but they were able to do that. LSU coming off that A&M game, 38-23. I don't think it's as bad as it looks. I mean, that's their only conference loss. That's their first loss since USC. A&M's really good, and I think it's going to be up to Texas and Texas A&M at the end of the season to see who plays. Let's just call it what it is. Who's going to go play Georgia in the SEC championship game? I think it's going to come down on November 30th in the Lone Star Showdown with both of those teams. So, but you look at this game, 65 degrees on Saturday night, 6:30 Central kick, November 9th, 2024. Hey, the last time it was on November 9th was that Joe Burrow year. So, uh, be careful if you're going on the road on November 9th in this series, right? I mean, I'm just saying, like, is this the Jalen Milrow year for a potential road upset? Even though it's not as much at stake as it was in 2019, Alabama goes on the road. Back in 2019, too, when you looked at it, LSU was ranked higher, went on the road and won. Here, Alabama ranked on the road. Will they win? So I think that's very interesting there. So, but again, we look at this and we look at the spread being 3 for Bama. I'm not too confident in this game. I think it's a trap. I really do. I think Alabama is prone to take. I I don't know. People say 2 losses. People say 3. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I mean, this is a game I don't want to mess with, but at the same time, it's a game that must be predicted. Like, it's a rule for me. If I'm going to record Tidal Wave Talk, I'm going to do a prediction video, right? That's what these are. Uh, when you look at Alabama, Justice Haynes, Jam Miller, 1-2 punch at running back, love it. Absolutely phenomenal, and they've done pretty good in the run game. Um, Ryan Williams, of course, the 17-year-old phenom. Then you got the defensive side of the ball. Deontay Lawson with 66 tackles. Devontae Jackson, USC transfer with 2 picks. Other guys to know, Jahad Campbell, 2.5 sacks. Tim Keenan has 1.5 sacks. Jamarian Latham has 1 sack. LT Overton. But the guy that's leading in sacks is Q Robinson with 4 for 34 yards. He's doing pretty good. He's the guy that's going to try to get pressure on the quarterback. Can they put pressure on LSU? We're going to find out. I love Kyrie Lacey at receiving for them. You got to play man-to-man coverage there. Jalen Mbakwe, Devontae Smith, Xavier Brown, I believe, had a pick or 2 against Georgia earlier this season. King Mack is a Penn State transfer. Basically, to sum this up, Alabama's got the guys on defense. We just haven't seen the chemistry and connection that can bring it together at the right time. And this is one of those games where it has to come together at the right time. outside of that Georgia game, I mean, it should have come together against Tennessee. That's a game you should have won. I also would say the same thing about Vanderbilt. Now, both of those teams are really, really good this year, and they're doing their own thing, pulling off upsets left and right. But at the same time, it's Alabama. It's Alabama. I know it's not the Alabama of old, and I know it's a new coach. I know it's a new system. I know it's a new era. But at the same time, I look at this and I'm like, you got the talent there. You just got to put it on the field. When you look at LSU, I would say the same thing. I think LSU is a premier team in the SEC historically. They recruit really, really good. They recruit out of their mind. They use the portal. They do all that. When you look at what they have Caden Durham, 397 rushing yards off 73 carries. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns. They love to feed him the football. Josh Williams backs him up. He's got 3 touchdowns, so he's got half of that. Zy Alexander leads in interceptions at 2. Whit Weeks, the linebacker for LSU, leads with tackles at 74. But Kyron Lacey, you got to play man-to-man coverage there, whether it's Xavier Brown or Devontae Smith or whoever's going to match up with him. I would like to see him take on a guy like Xavier Brown. But Kyron Lacey, man, 6 touchdowns, 618 yards. Then you got Aaron Anderson, Mason Taylor, who caught the game winner a couple years ago against Alabama in overtime. CJ Daniels, Xavier Thomas, I could go down the list. I think the talent is there for LSU, but at the same time, I think that it's it's going to be a battle for both of these teams. I think this makes me think a little bit about the Tennessee game when it came down to the fan bases, even though they would talk their smack and everything. I think it was still one of those things like who's going to win. We don't have all the confidence in the world. Tennessee ended up winning that game. So, yeah, I'm worried about this one as a Bama fan. But at the same time, does LSU have all the confidence they can win this game? Who has more confidence they can win this game here? Alabama fans or LSU fans? Haven't really heard much from LSU fans this week. Shout out to all the ones like TK and Goose Sports. Love and appreciate all of you out there. Nothing but love and respect for LSU and their fans. This is going to be a great game, and I'm excited to watch it on Saturday. All right, time to predict. Going to make this really, really quick here. Again, the spread favors Alabama by 3, and I think they could get it done. And I think they hit it right on the money with 3 points. Now, it could be 7, it could be 2, it could be 1, it could be 4, whatever. I think no more than a 7-point game, but I'm going to take them with the defensive stop late. I know that no. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say a game-winning field goal could win this for Alabama. If you could get them in the right position, they could kick a game-winning field goal to break the tie. Bama -3. I got them 23-20. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be at night. It's got everything. So, I'm excited for it. Really pumped up. I love this rivalry. I love this game. I mentioned too that we're probably not going to go live for any more college football games. We'll still try to figure out watch hours and putting out live stream content. I just want to relax, enjoy the games on Saturday. We'll make videos throughout the day. So, but drop your comments or drop your predictions in the comments and let me know who you think's going to win this one. I got Bama by 3. They cannot afford another loss if they want a playoff spot. If they take another loss, they're definitely not making the playoffs. But if they say 10-2 can get in, Bama with a win like this, hey, it happens. It's good, and you got a chance to be maybe a 10 or 11 seed. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to be seated, but if they could keep it going, they can't overlook anybody. They got Mercer next week. Should be easy, but don't take anyone lightly, right? Then you go to Oklahoma, then you come back home for the Iron Bowl with Auburn, which is always a fantastic game, biggest rivalry in college football. So, that being said, that's all I got. Love you guys. Jesus loves you. God bless. And from an Alabama fan, roll tide. Ballard Sports Media, check it out. I love y'all. Have a good one.